I love this for the spouse question, because to me, one of the most annoying things to get when you get to the end of the sales conversation is, oh yeah, this all sounds great. Like, I just need to talk to my husband. Cool. And we've got a number of ways that you can handle that once you get there at the end of the conversation, if you get there. But gosh, isn't it just easier to handle beforehand? My God, the normal stuff that I'll hear from Bill. Does your husband support you making these changes for your fitness goals? Dude. Ugh. Gross. So, here's the way I recommend you do it, and it's super sexy.
Welcome to the Gym Member Machine Podcast.
Let's talk about sales, Dave. Let's talk about sales. We get gym owners all the time that ask us questions. I'm getting this objection. I'm getting this question late in the sales process. How do I overcome this objection? Well, it's best to solve the problem before it starts, right? It's best to solve the problem as early in the process as you possibly can, while maintaining the posture of being on the same side of the table as your prospect. The better situation, right? The better experience you're going to have with that sale. Because Dave, as you've probably experienced in your years of gym ownership, the conversation, the framing, the feeling of a conversation can shift once money's brought up. Right. And as soon as money is brought into the conversation, sure, your mindset hopefully is and still should be, oh, we're on the same side of the table. I'm still here to help you make the best decision for yourself, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. It doesn't always feel that way to the person on the other side. And it can start to feel like these conversations, these little conversation through lines that you're taking me through, these paths that you're taking me through, now feel more like you're just trying to get my money as opposed to help me. Whereas if you can solve the problem before it starts, you got a lot better chance of handling your objections. That's what I want to talk about today. Can we talk about it?
Let's talk about it. So the framing you set up, I'm imagining a gym owner in their consultation room, or maybe they do selling directly on the floor. And I love the analogy of same side of the table versus across from the table, and what that means of like the framing of the prospect and how they perceive the gym owner selling them. So maybe you could break that down a bit more.
Yeah, so it's like exactly as you said it. Hopefully, all of our, like, the way we teach gyms to sell is not the old, like, high pressure, high anxiety driven sales process, right? I don't believe any great long-term relationship was built on a foundation of anxiety and pressure. Why would we teach our people to sell that way? We aren't going to do that. That said, even if you go in with the best of intentions, there's a line in the sand that happens as soon as money is discussed, where it now becomes more difficult to feel like you're just in that coaching frame. Because I believe good sales is good coaching. It's one of the sales philosophies we believe in here at GMM. Well, it can very much it should feel completely like a coaching conversation all the way up through, yes, the point where you mention the money. But as soon as the money conversation happens, now the prospect goes from feeling like, oh, you're just coaching me, to now you're trying to get something from me, potentially. And if you've not built enough value, or they still have objections that they want to throw out there and what have you, now your overcomes two set of objections, even if you're going about it with the intent of just coaching and guiding the person into the right decision for them, doesn't always feel the same way to the prospect. And so the best solution for overcoming 99.9% of objections is to address them before they are allowed to become an issue, and before you're on opposite sides of the table having like old school, can I offer some perspective on this? Like, let's, I love all the freaking high ticket, like short form content that's out there in the internet ecosystem today, right? It's like these 18-year-old quote unquote gurus that are filming fake calls talking about how they're overcoming objections with prospects for their 20K sales coaching programs or whatever. But it's easier to not have to deal with the really high pressure, high anxiety objections. And you can solve the lion's share of objections before they start by asking these questions before you get to the price.
Okay, awesome. So love the idea of solving the problem before it starts. I definitely don't want to buy a $20,000 YouTuber in their basement high ticket closing course to figure out how to do this. So let's get into the questions to make sure you're asking in consultations.
Yeah. So the general concept here, the broad strokes idea is to go back to more visual analogies. Every sale has a number of doors that your prospect can exit through. Okay. And I heard that it was a great speaker. Maybe someone can find the name of the guy, but this is like 8, 9 years ago before the kids. And he spoke about this concept of the sales doors. I don't remember the guy's name, but it made a lot of sense to me. And the idea is that you are sitting at the table with your prospect and assuming that there's someone you can actually help, that your service is a good fit for, what have you. The door you'd like to invite them to walk through is the golden door behind you, and that's the one door where you guys do business together. Okay, that's the goal that we want to take them through, or the goal is to take them through that door. The issue is behind them, there are 8, 9, 10 other doors that they could take through that our goal through the conversation is sort of to like super non-creepily walk over and just lock and make sure that it is no longer a viable exit door for them. The issue, if we do not close those exit doors while we are completely on the same side of the table, right? Whether we want to be there psychologically or not, even after the price, like sometimes the prospect is not on the same side of the table as you after you've mentioned price. We ideally want to close those potential exit doors before we get to the pricing part of the conversation, so that when we get to the actual objections, like there are still objections to be overcome, and we've got ways to handle that. We won't get into that in this call, this conversation, whatever necessarily. If we can close 90%, right, everything but the price exit door before we get there, now we know what we are specifically going to have to address. And it's not what they call in the sales training industry, like smoke screens. It's not talking about the wife when the real issue is this, or talking about I'm just going to do it myself, or, okay, great. Like, I'll get back to you in a few months, like when it's really time to do this. It's where it may that's probably just a smokescreen, right? It may just be they don't believe in the product, the service, whatever it is. Like there's some sort of other issue, and they're just using that as a kind excuse to kind of like, it's not you, it's me, and I definitely don't want to deal with this right now. I'm just trying to get off the call, and like just let me leave, right? If we can close that door beforehand, now we have the ability to isolate the objection, and it is a lot easier to handle the objection when you know what the objection actually is, because otherwise you're just freaking guessing. Okay, so insert the exit doors analogy, and what we're going to go through today is how to close a bunch of those exit doors while we're still on the same side of the table with the prospect. Basically, these are all questions. So it's like it's effectively one tool and like multiple questions to close these potential exit doors. One of the doors is they have to have a goal, right? So if you don't have a goal that you're trying to achieve, if the outcome that you're looking for is not big enough, you're less likely to buy the thing, particularly when it comes to fitness, right? Like you're selling something typically for at least a few $100 a month. Well, we've got to make sure the prospect has a goal that they feel like is worth investing that amount in order to achieve. And so my favorite, you said, well, okay, so I just asked the person what their goals are. Like that's on a questionnaire or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's cool. But you're going to end up with prospects. Like when I role play with our gym owners like we do twice a week sales coaching, and I was role playing with one of our gym owners earlier today. Like I will oftentimes play the too cool for school guy, that's like, oh, so what got you interested in this? Oh, I saw an ad. I thought I might be interested in like get into. Okay, like what's the goal? What do you, like, so I see what you guys are all about. Like maybe I'll lose a little weight, whatever. Like, you can ask the goal and not get like juice. So we want to make sure the goal is big enough to be worth investing in on the side of the prospect. So we steal this from Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan's like a legendary entrepreneur author, and it's called the Dan Sullivan question. So the Dan Sullivan question is effectively it does a handful of things. Number one, you'll see that it is a much better way to get a powerful goal from the individual on the other side. Number two, it does some really nice like psychological pre-selling and future pacing. So we force the prospect to kind of visualize themselves looking at us. And number three, it can also, depending on how you ask the question, frame the fact that this is not a short-term fix. So even if you're selling we talked about LBOs and stuff, right? And how they may not be the best thing of all time. But even if you're selling a 30-day or a 6-week or a 21-day, this, that, or the other, I still recommend you ask the question effectively the way that I'm going to give it to you right now in order to get the best outcome possible, because we don't care about the person signing up for the 30-day Fit Mom challenge that we used to sell hundreds of at my gym, 10 years ago. we care about them sticking around for the long haul and becoming members for the long haul and being worth thousands and thousands of dollars and not necessarily hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So enter the Dan Sullivan question. Dave, you'll be the prospect, I guess. I'll use your name just for fun. But okay, so like in terms of goals, Dave, like say we're sitting here 12 months from now, we're looking back on our time working together. What results would you have to see? What progress would you have to make for you to say, holy crap, this is the best decision I ever made for my health and fitness? Okay, so what does that question do? Right? What did it do that was nice? What did you notice? We'll make it interactive.
The thing I like about it is, number one, like you said, is not short term. Like it makes me feel like, okay, yeah, we're in this for the long haul. I like that it's a open-ended question. So you're not saying how many pounds will you have had to lose, which not everybody's goal is automatically fat loss, even if we think it should be. So I like that it was open-ended and left to my interpretation, and that it's like, for this to be the best thing you've ever done, which to me could just be, I make friends. Right? Which that would probably be my answer. Joining a gym. It'd be like, I would want to make a friend. So yeah, those are some of the things I like about it.
Yeah. So the other thing it says is we're sitting here 12 months from now, looking back on our time working together. There are things in, like we teach this entire sales process. So this is effectively one piece of it. So what we're going through today is what we call the origin story portion. We teach what we call the hero's journey sales training. Okay. And this is just the first question in the origin story that allows us to get a really, really great answer to whatever goal the person is working on. And if we get the bonus points of like psychological, okay, we're sitting here 12 months from now, looking back on our time working together. Well, now they're having a picture, you working together. We've got a little bit of a psychological drop that, okay, maybe this isn't like just a super short-term thing. That's interesting. And then the last part that you can change for your personality is like, what results would you have to see? What progress would you have to make for X? So the X you can kind of change based on your personality. So I'm a goofy person. I might for you to say, oh my gosh, like given this crazy prematurely graying Texan trainer, all your money was like the best decision you ever made for your life, for your health and fitness, whatever it is. If it's me, being a little bit more gentle, I might say for you to say this was like the best decision you ever made for your health and fitness. Don't make it the best decision you ever made in your life, because like, dude, hopefully they had kids or got married or something and they're happy about that. Okay. Like make it somewhat tied to the realm that you're playing in. But it's a very powerful question, and you will typically get a much better answer to that than, so what's the goal? What are we trying to achieve here with your health and fitness? Like sometimes people are going to give you the juice, but if we can add in some like psychological power to what we're doing, that sounds like a positive thing to me. Right. So that's question one. Next thing you want to do is we've got to create a little bit of pain. Now this can feel uncomfortable. I frankly used to sell lots of things without like diving into the pain at all. All we're doing here is shining a light on the challenges that the prospect has dealt with in the past and why it might make sense to make some of these changes now. So, okay, they give us the goal. You can be a human. You can talk more about, you can dive deeper, all the different stuff. Once you've been a human and dove deeper into whatever their goal is a little bit, it's okay. So like how long we've been working on this? Like what types of things have we tried in the past to solve this problem? What does that give us? Well, that gives us some background and history into what their training history might look like. You can dive deeper on that specifically. It also gives us some ammunition for future pieces of the conversation to maybe compare and contrast. Like, oh, you did HIIT boot camp or Zumba, like you did these diets and you didn't do strength training or whatever it is. Like we're just going to get some history. What the prospect is doing in this case is they're going through effectively all of their past failures. Because if they were super successful with it, they probably wouldn't be sitting in front of you, unless it's a situation where like, I was really successful at Dave's gym, but I'm moving to San Antonio and now I want to join your gym because he said it was amazing. And so it's like, I've been successful with this and I want to continue being successful. Like that's a rare thing. Most of the time they're coming to you because they've failed at some of this other stuff, which gives you a little bit of psychological power if your solution is a little bit different in some way, that this might be the thing that actually helps them. So we want to know the things they've tried in the past. If they say, oh, I've tried everything, you want to press a little bit. Okay, everything like what? Pretty freaking simple, right? Like, I mean, and then, oh, like I've tried just all the things. Okay. It's like, have you tried working out? Has it been working with a trainer? Like diets? Like, what's that look like? You want to get some history. Okay. There we go. There's a piece of the kind of the door closing mechanisms, if you will. The other door that we want to make sure we close is the urgency door. So it's why now? Okay. Because if we don't close that door, then it's like, okay, great. Like I've got this, and this going on, and I'm going to go ahead and reach back out to you in 2 months when I think it might be a priority for me. That sucks to hear when you've gone through all of this effort. So we want to try to catch it early. So we ask, what's important about doing this now? Why not wait 6 days, 6 months, 6 years to get this thing taken care of? And you'll notice this is like getting like deep into sales nerdery. Do you know this, Dave? Do you know the difference between what and why questions?
I think a what question is less likely to piss off the prospect. I think why is almost like laying blame, or like why haven't you done this? Like why can't you just do this? Whereas a what question is more open-ended and like a coaching question.
Yeah, I don't know
I
how
don't know.
true it
I don't know
actually
if
is.
that's
You're close. I think you're close. I think you probably have the answer, even if it's not like the direct from is it Chris Voss, the FBI guy. So supposedly, what questions send the human brain looking for answers? It's like curiosity. What? Why questions invoke more defensiveness on the other side, right? It can be a little bit more combative. So you'll notice we say, what's important about doing this now? Why not wait? I want you to fight me on waiting 6 days, 6 months, 6 years to get this thing taken care of, right? So what's important about doing this now? Why not wait 6 days, 6 months, 6 years to get this thing taken care of? Why is that a powerful question? Well, number one, it's like, yeah, we might get, a little bit of what's important about doing this now. Okay, that's interesting. Like I'm looking for the answer. And then I say, why not wait 6 days, 6 months, 6 years to get this thing under wrap? That tightens our timeline a little bit. Right? Like I can't wait 6 days to get this thing taken care of. And yeah, I go a little bit extreme on 6 years because like that gives us a chance to have the person think about what would happen if they didn't make a change. Right? Are we psychologically manipulating the person into giving us the answer that we're looking for? Like, no. We're opening the door. We're asking a question to get them to give us the answers that actually mean a lot to them. Like this is a good, powerful thing. Okay, so we close the urgency exit door. I think really nicely there. Now the next one is spouse. So this is my favorite thing, and I didn't steal this from friggin' anybody. Like this is all my friggin' crazy psychology. I love this for the spouse question because to me, one of the most annoying things to get when you get to the end of the sales conversation is, oh yeah, this all sounds great. Like I just need to talk to my husband. Cool. And we've got a number of ways that you can handle that once you get there at the end of the conversation, if you get there. But gosh, isn't it just easier to handle beforehand? And like, my God, the normal stuff that I'll hear from people. Okay, so does your spouse, I can speak English. Does your husband support you making these changes for your fitness goals? Like, dude, ugh, gross. So here's the way I recommend you do it, and it's super sexy. Okay, so we say, all right, so we're thinking about making these changes. What's the situation look like at home? Do we have like a hubby or kids that are going to be grumpy about you, like eating healthy food or working out more? What's that situation look like? Oh, I just think that's like such a like nice, elegant way to like enter the conversation a little bit there. So, oh no, like there might be a little bit of this with the the food, but like overall, I think we'll be okay. This is okay, so cool. So like, just to be clear, like hubby, wifey, like they support you making whatever call you need to make with this. So yeah, we're gonna ask the question directly and try to close that exit door. But because we've entered the conversation with what is genuinely a coaching frame, like are any trainers going to fight me on that? Like, no, like that's a good question to know about if you're actually trying to help the person on the other side change their life. Like, that's a good coaching question that we can then turn into, okay, can we like lock the exit door and not have you tell me that you need to talk to hubby or wifey at the end of it? And maybe they do need to have the conversation and you can do the whole, okay, cool. So like, do we need to get like happy to talk to wifey about this? Like, do we need to get everyone together so we can all be on the same page? It's a lot easier thing. Like I've heard. I was in mastermind meetings years ago, and it's like he was one of the scariest humans. He's a sweetheart, but he's one of the scariest humans if you ever see him in person that you would ever meet. And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, let's get hubby on the phone right now. Like, just call him. We'll talk about it right now." It's like, oh shit, like that's okay. I feel like my way feels like it's a little bit more elegant. You're probably gonna catch a few more flies with honey than you will whatever the other thing is that vinegar. I guess people try to catch things with. These are bad analogies today. So elegant way to get into the spouse thing, and you can bring them in on the conversation at that point if you if you get that objection, but you're doing it before you've talked about price, so the person's still on the same side of the table. This all still feels good. It feels like good coaching. Good sales is good coaching. Then we get into the barrier. Okay, so it's like do it on your own as an exit door that people will use. Oh, thank you for getting me so motivated about my health and fitness. I'm going to try to do it on my own for a little bit, and then I'll reach back out. Right? That's also like a shitty thing to hear. And so what we want to do, and you can do this multiple times throughout the sales conversation just to make sure you have all the information right. But you're going to do what we call a recap, which is you recap all the stuff that the prospect has given you up to this point in the conversation. Okay, so our goal is to do this. We've tried this, and this in the past. Da 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 da. Excuse me. You go through all like what's important about doing this now. Like you go through all the things, and then it's okay. So can I ask you a question? It's like, yeah, sure. So we've done all this stuff. Like, what's stopping you from doing this on your own and taking care of it yourself, since we know it's something that you want to do? So we know it's something that you really want to do. Notice, Dave, tonality can matter, right? Like that's a little bit of a deep, it can feel like a prying question. It can feel like, so what's stopping you from doing this on your own? It's like, we know it's something you want to do. Like that can feel attacking, right? And negative and judgy and blamey to the prospect. So we want to like, bring the tone, get to the same side of the table. And what does that question do? Well, it freaking closes the exit door on them being able to do it on their own. It also gives you typically some like coaching and accountability gold on what does this person need to be successful in your program, right? I said, oh yeah, I just don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. Okay. I just know I need motivation and accountability. Like I know I'm not going to keep going if this, or I need friends, right? I need a group of people that support me. I need to be around more like-minded people because no one in my circle right now is healthy. And I know I need to be around more people that make health a priority. Fantastic. Those are all really, really good, powerful answers to the question that you can try to tie into your solutions for this prospect on the other side that A, makes them more likely, yes, to sign up, but B, makes them more likely to be successful in your program once they actually get in, which is should be the reason that you, dear gym owner, are doing this in the first place. It's like this stuff can feel a little bit, negative. It feels like attacky. Like you're making me close exit doors on people. Like, are any of these things not helping you actually provide a better experience for your client on the other side once they join the program?
Yeah, all these questions would be life coach Michael Keeler certified as great open-ended questions for just a good coaching conversation.
That just so happen to help stop objections before they start, right? Wait, what you'll notice, okay, because the exit door elephant in the room is price. We have not addressed price or budget or anything like that. What I like to do and what we teach our gyms to do, and I feel like we're pretty good at it because we get people closing at ridiculous rates on really high prices. Like most of our clients are not selling freaking boot camp memberships for $99 a month, right? I don't think we have a single person selling a boot camp membership for $99 a month. They're mostly small group and one-on-one training clients charging hundreds of dollars a month, typically as one of the more expensive providers in their area, and they're still closing at ridiculously high rates. And so we've got ways to handle the price objection after the fact. We may do like a whole episode on like how to actually handle objections if you do get them later on. But the price thing is really pretty easy to freaking handle if you've closed all these other exit doors. Like it's really a pretty straightforward thing to overcome with the individual on the other side if you can handle all this stuff first. The bonus points with handling all of these exit doors is you also are creating a little bit of pain, right? So the universal sales equation, and I forget where I got this from. I think it's from one of those sales douchebags that I don't like recommend their life choices. I think it's from Jordan Belfort book, right? Like, he seems like a giant POS and scam artist and whatever else, but the information I think is valuable. Like, it makes sense to me. Universal sales equation is value and certainty. Okay, so like, no sale in your life, whether it's buying a piece of gum, getting somebody on a date, selling fitness, whatever it is going to happen without the requisite amount of both value and certainty. Value is the pain you're going to help the prospect avoid, and the gain you're going to help them achieve, and the time that you might help them save. Like, that's part of the gain, right? That you're helping them achieve, or the pain that you're helping them avoid if you're saving them time. But no sale will happen if there's not enough value achieved on one side, and then enough certainty to achieve said value on the other side. So if I tell you, Dave, I've got this crypto investment. If you give me $100,000 today, in 30 days, I will provide you with $100 million. Are you going to give me $100,000?
I'll find a way.
Yeah. Okay. So I feel like I've gotten suck up answers to this question because you guys are being idiots. Okay. What's the real answer? Are you going to give me $100,000 for this crypto fund that I'm starting?
I mean, I guess I would have to believe you. So you might not have the certainty. You know?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. That's the point, okay? It's like, you can pass the value side of the equation and not cross the certainty threshold that is necessary for the prospect on the other side to actually make the sale. Now, your certainty stuff, like, it's going to vary. If you're buying a piece of gum or you're going out to dinner and you're like, oh, I'm going to try a different dish. I don't have like super crazy certainty on it, but because I'm spending $20 or whatever it is, like, I'm fine making that trade with a low level of certainty. The level of certainty necessary is going to be different for the prospect and the product they're buying and so on and so forth. But it's like, those are the two sides of the universal sales equation. Part of what these questions allow you to do is uncover a little bit of pain in what still is a very coaching conversation driven thing, right? And I feel like some people, I certainly used to feel a little bit icky about diving into the pain. Dude, how are you going to coach a person as well as you possibly can if you don't know, like, what have you struggled with before? How many things have you tried? Like, if I don't know what those things are, I'm probably not going to be able to coach you as well as I would if I knew all of the history and knew all the things. And like, bonus points, it makes the person kind of see, like, oh yeah, like, these are some things I need to work on. The urgency question is typically something they can uncover some real juice in the conversation. Like, I've been going through some health stuff. Like, if you ask me the question, like, what's important about doing this now and not waiting 6 days, 6 months, 6 years to get this taken care of, like, I'm going to have a different thought process now than I did 6 months ago. That is a good thing for me if I want to change my life health-wise, right? Like, it's going to be probably some deep stuff for me. And that is going to make me more likely to become a client if someone's selling me the thing, to be a better client, right? Because I'm now like, you're forcing me to like think about this stuff that I don't always think about, to sort of address the realities and maybe some elephants or skeletons in the closet, in my health and fitness closet, that I need to address in order to change my life. Like, these are positive things that you're doing that also happen to make you more likely to sign the person up as a member, to get the opportunity to change their life in exchange for their dollars. Like, this is pretty cool. There you go.
Okay, so we've covered a handful of questions there. Got the Dan Sullivan question, and then everything involved in the origin story. And the great thing is, with all those, they're just great coaching questions to close off the doors of someone might have of objections, and you're closing off or overcoming objections in advance, which is way better than overcoming them later. And if they walk through the golden door of paying you, then that person is going to change their life, and you're going to help them. So I love it.
Yeah, fun stuff. Let us know. I'd love to know if you guys incorporate this into your next consultation, sales conversation, starting points, what have you. Let us know how it goes. If you've got more stuff you want us to dive into, DM us at Gym Member Machine on all major platforms. We'll be watching IG probably most closely, so you can send us a message there. Let Dave know what you want to see on the podcast, and we will see you guys on the next episode.